And there's the outside look of Nationwide Arena. As you can see, Johnny Gaudreau in the forefront. We're going to see lots of 13 tonight in remembrance of Matthew and Johnny. And that's why we welcome in our guest here, Jody Shelley. We got him ready, right? All right.
Ready.
Shell's got you, buddy. Sorry, man. Good to see you. Can you give us a vibe as far as the emotions kind of swirling around Columbus as this we're getting closer to puck drop?
Yeah, as you can imagine, guys, it's been a grueling time here for these guys. You know, the players individually, they've done a tremendous job of kind of grieving together. You know, moments remembering Johnny, loving the passion that he brought to the locker room. He's a guy that loved being at the rink all the time, and the guys have really, you know, if the stories are that they're just sharing moments where Johnny would be doing a certain thing at a certain time on a practice or during a game or a song or whatever it was. It's really honoring him and his brother Matthew's life. You know, it's a somber mood here, but I think everyone's excited because, you know, Guy Gaudreau's in town, Meredith is in town, and you know, not only the city, the state, and the hockey world is grieving together, but, you know, you really feel for those young guys in the locker room, the guys that got to know Johnny, the guys that don't know Johnny but understand the legacy he's left behind. I saw Guy today, guys, and there's no father in North America or the world that spent more time with his boys than Guy Gaudreau. On the ice, he was telling me about training with Johnny this summer. It's just heartbreaking to think about where Guy is at. But he was happy to be around the guys here in the locker room because they knew Johnny. He's going to be here tonight, and they're really going to do a tribute to his life all night long to start and then throughout the game. So to answer your question, Rupper, it's as expected, and everyone's taking it differently, if you will. Everyone's grieving and remembering at their own pace.
Hey, Shells, talking about Guy Gaudreau, how important has it been for him and the family and also the organization to have him around during this time?
You know, I think, and Dean Evison, head coach of the Blue Jackets, mentioned this today. He said it's really important for the guys, you know, the guys to have Guy around, and it's really important for Guy. And Guy said, you know, it was a distraction for him today, which is good at times, but, you know, it just, like I said earlier, they're all grieving in their own way and together. And you know, Sean Monahan, I'm getting to understand what kind of a level of a friend he was to Johnny. I mean, he bought a place here 3 doors down in Columbus from Johnny to play with him. They drive the same car. They have the same dogs. They got engaged within hours of each other. They were tight. And you think of Sean Monahan, and you know, he said his first game in Minnesota, game number 1 for the Blue Jackets, he said, I was supposed to be with Johnny, and that got taken away from me. And, you know, it's something that I'll never get back. But he's went on with the guys to be, you know, a part of that group that's really growing together. So, yeah, it's very important. It's critical. And, you know, losing someone or anyone that deals with anyone, you don't know what to do. You don't know what happens next. And you kind of get a sense that with the Blue Jackets and the family, they're kind of helping each other along as they need it.
Hey, Shells, you've been in and around that organization, different parts of your career, and now for a little while on the other side, broadcasting. They've been through a lot. The Columbus organization has been through a lot. Can you speak to how they've sort of made whatever they can out of these impossible situations, notwithstanding this one that we have tonight?
You know what? It's just like life. They take it as it comes and they deal with it, Bowler. It's just, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. That's how life is. And you know, they've been dealt a few situations that have been devastating and unthinkable. But the organization takes a step back, thinks about the people, thinks about the impact, thinks about works with the league and everyone else. You know, you guys know how tight this league is and how much respect we all have for each other and how we all pull for each other. The cities we're in, the states, the communities, they just kind of lean on everything around them. And, you know, you just deal with it as it comes, and that's what they've done. And they've done I'm really proud of the organization. We're all proud to be Blue Jackets here as to how they've handled all these tragedies and all these different scenarios. That's why we're really, in a big way, looking forward to tonight, because they're going to make it extra special. They understand the impact not only to the families, the players, the community, the state, the country, the hockey world. They want to pay tribute in the right way, and you're going to see it here tonight.
Hey, Jodes, we've seen in a lot of all the home openers for teams, you've got the moment of silence, the decals with both brothers' numbers on their helmets. You know, it's something that has been tonight, though. I think it's something that's really cool as far as the Florida Panthers having those jerseys too. We just showed that in a couple segments ago. Just how the hockey community is coming together in these difficult times, and the fact that the Florida Panthers are going to be wearing those in warm-ups.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you guys, the hockey world is so small, and you guys know. I mean, you've been in different locker rooms. Yes, two guys. Two questions where they've played, and there's two guys you've already met that you've played with or you have a common bond with, and that's the special part about this hockey world that we're so fortunate to be a part of. And you know, that's the league is all in, the players are all in, every organization feels the impact. That family, the Gaudreau family, has impacted a lot of people in hockey, on and off the ice, and especially in the National Hockey League. So it's been something Dean Evason has embraced. He said, you know what, we're not going to say, oh, another night, a tribute. They welcome it all, because it's you know, it's one of us, it's one of them, and I think they've done a really good job with that. And it was funny, Paul Maurice had said, we'll give them whatever they want for tonight, and Dean Evason in his press conference today said, really, whatever we want. All right, I have a couple requests here for tonight. So, you know, there is that side where they understand Johnny Gaudreau and what he would want and how he would want guys to act, and it's kind of a moment where you get to chuckle like that, Boiler, and you kind of say, all right, you know, think of Johnny in those moments, and that's what tonight and the rest of the season is really all about.
Well, thinking of the Blue Jackets' current players right now, and you know, different things happened during my career off the ice, or different people I knew, where you wish you could do more. You know, if you lost a friend back home, you couldn't really make it to the, you know, whatever happened, you just, because being a pro athlete, you can't do certain things. Is this their kind of opportunity to do whatever it is they can as you know, NHL players, where you don't really have downtime, you can't go and travel a lot, there's not a lot of opportunity for that? Is this their moment to sort of show, you know, what he meant to them and what that family is going to mean to them, and their respect for that, for the Gaudreau family as players in that locker room? Or did you touch on that at all with them in the time leading up to this?
Yeah, that's the idea tonight. You know, it's not we usually do a blue carpet here in Columbus where the fans are out front, and it's you know, the pomp and circumstance, the excitement for opening night. But it's exactly what that is. What you said there, Brian. It's the honor of his family to the hockey world and the entire world, that the impact he's had, not just here, but this is a league thing. Yeah, this is a world thing, and it's really about the family. It starts with them, and then it starts with, you know, his young kids, his wife, his mom and dad, and then it goes through all those players that play with him, and all those players that got to know him, and of course, there's people on every team that he's impacted in some way. So that's what it's for tonight, to honor the life of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau.
I don't know if you ran into Matthew, but just the time you've watched Johnny, and is there any story in particular that really jumped out at you and makes you smile? And because we've been kind of going around trading stories, and we kind of all have one that stands out for us.
Well, you know what's funny? I didn't really get to know him up close, but I got to know his dad, Guy, pretty well. And with Johnny, I was always amazed at how quick he got on the bus. Like, practice was not even on the bus. He'd just get an Uber or a car and get out of the locker room. You just see him still, like, wet from the shower, no tie, always had his toque on, and rushing out of the locker room. The story for me, I always go to Guy Gaudreau, and you know, this guy coached Johnny and Matthew and everyone in that New Jersey area growing up. Eric Robinson was part of that group. He's a rink rat. And my son was having a practice on a Tuesday night in February, and Guy was at the rink, and I said, you know, tomorrow night my kid has a practice if you want to come out. He said, yeah, what time? I said, I think it's 9 o'clock. He said, all right, I'll be there. And sure enough, he showed up to practice, ran the drills, had a great old time. And you know, the passion that he has for hockey, the amount of time he spent with those boys, your heart goes everywhere in these moments. But for Guy and his wife and what they've lost, and Meredith, and it's unthinkable, guys. It's still unthinkable, and we're going to get through this tonight, and hopefully it turns into a celebration. Make sure you guys catch Puck Drop. They're going to do something very special.
Well, Jody, it's going to be an emotional night there. We appreciate you stopping by and sharing some of these stories with us.
All right, guys. Great to see you three. Appreciate it. Have a great night.